Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of One Step at a Time podcast with your host, Ocean Flight 101, heading straight to full potential with zero delays. Come on now, not one delay. A lot of turbulence. Some fucking shaky turbulence, but no delays. That's the flight service we run over here. Okay. Guys, how you been? It's been a couple of weeks since I did a solo dolo. I think the last solo dolo was about getting older. It was around my birthday and whatnot. That was a good listen. That was therapeutic, whatnot. And then I had Emma on. So yeah, it's been a good time. Before we get into everything today, guys, if you haven't given it 5 stars on Spotify, give it that 5 stars. Come on now. There's only 27 stars sitting there. It needs that 5. So if you give it that 5 stars, that would be lovely jubbly. So that's the first in the regime. Be sure to give 5 stars and be sure to tell a friend. Also, some announcements coming. We're on episode 25. Crazy. This podcast will now be available on all streaming services. Amazing. Incredible. What else do I have to announce? Currently setting up some sponsorship, or in the works, getting that together. More on that soon. New cover of the podcast, which is so exciting. Isn't that so exciting? Shout out my boy Josh Roxby. Actually did an amazing job. So yeah, having a new cover is a massive thing. But yeah, there's just some little announcements. And also, guys, the New York episode. Going to New York. So I'm going to chat about that more and chat about that. But yeah, you know how I do this, guys. Before I get into today's theme of the podcast, it's going to be all about discipline. But before I kind of get into discipline, you know how I do these solo dolos. I let you in, guys. I bring you in. My life is a house, right? And I let you in certain rooms, not all the rooms. God, not all the rooms. But I will let you in certain rooms. So, you know how it is. I'm going to bring you in a little bit, tell you what I've been up to, what I've been doing, how I've been doing. I'm messing with my mic here. I'm a bit close to it. I'll be shouting in the mic. I'm trying to settle it down a bit. Oh, wait, no. The last solo dolo was actually the meditation episode. The guided meditation. Now, guys, I'll keep it a book. A B-U-C-K or B-O-O-K. I'm not sure which one it is. Keep it 100. Honesty, transparency. For the love of God, guys, be transparent. Marcus Aurelius about don't do anything that involves walls or curtains or whatever. But anyways, probably not sex though. I'd imagine you'd still want to have curtains and walls for that. Anyways, that's another here or there. Transparency, yeah. Wowzers, honesty, yeah. The guided meditation, look, it was the first time I did it. I didn't really get any feedback on it. So it didn't really do many listens either. So completely fair. It's the first one I've done. As I kind of develop more and gain more experience and valuable lessons with it, I'll be able to maybe do a more efficient, structured guided meditation. And maybe qualifications too. I don't know. The world is our oyster, so I don't know what I might get qualified in. I did do something awful funny because I don't have any qualifications because I didn't go to college. Kind of did not. But I did this health and safety thing just for when we were doing live events, and it just took like 20 minutes. And it gave me a certificate, and I put into my family group chat and said, "Hard work pays off, guys. Keep going." And my family didn't know if I was messing or not, so they just said, "Oh, well done, Martin." And then I was like, "Yeah, I know it took 2 minutes." So that was kind of funny. But the guided meditation, yeah, it was definitely fun to do. As I said, maybe as I get more experience and learn more about it, more the depths, the insights of it, the key elements, the key points of actually how you may teach someone or how you may exhibit it for someone to learn from is something I hope to do in the future. And yeah, a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. I was like, when I was preparing my notes for the podcast, I was like, well, what happened in the last couple of weeks? Because, you know, things become a blur so quickly in my life. So I started jotting down what's happened, and some cool shit's happened. So I'll probably go into, where do I want to go first? I'll probably let you know about one experience first. And before we get into discipline, I won't keep you too long on all my updates in my life, but it is quite insightful. Jesus, it is very insightful. So, right, there a couple weeks back, I had an edible. I had an edible. Oh, Jesus. And I shouldn't have had it. I knew I shouldn't have had it. I was like, the last time I had an edible was last year. And I had a great experience. The last time I had an edible, I only took a little one. And it was in Spain. And I ended up watching Mr. Bean and just playing the Beatles and laughing my head off for like 2-3 hours. It was a really wholesome, blissful experience. This one wasn't so much because I wasn't really feeling great. First of all, I only realized, oh my God, I'd only slept about 3 hours. I had such a long day. I was up at 3 o'clock that morning and now it was 8 o'clock at night. I took the edible. And so that was, I didn't feel great. I had a long day. A little bit of stress was in there. Some really good highs too. I'll talk about in a second. Not connected to the edible. But anyways, I took the edible, right? And oh Jesus, was I in for a roller coaster. And this is super important in connection, in conjunction with the podcast. So, I took the edible. Now guys, I don't really drink. I don't smoke the old Mary Jane. And I haven't really done anything. I haven't smoked weed or edibles or any of that since before the podcast, right? Before the podcast. And where the podcast is at now, it's incredible momentum. I'm starting to really find my place and really concrete my position in the direction I'm going. But it's only over maybe the last 6 months I've started being more open and more super vulnerable on camera and whatnot. And so anyhow, I took the edible and it was grand for maybe like an hour, and then it hit, and then it really hit. And anyone's ever done an edible, guys, you know when it hits, you just go on a spaceship, man, a spaceship to Mars, a fucking NASA. Where's NASA at? Pull up a rocket, because you're about to fucking go on a trip, baby. So yeah, oh Jesus. So anyways, went on the trip, oh God. And I was shaking a little bit, and like I was just like, whoa, it was getting intense. And I tried listening to music, couldn't listen to music, it was too intense. Tried watching the new Beverly Hills Cop movie, couldn't watch it, too intense. And you're saying to yourself, it's only music or movie, but depending on like on what mindset you're in and how your body is and the way you're reacting to the edible, you can just become super sensitive. And I'm a sensitive person anyways. So I started listening to music and it was just taking me to another universe. So I was like, oh, don't want to go there. And then I tried to watch some Beverly Hills Cop and I was like, oh no, this is just too intense. The ultimate trip would have been just in a forest somewhere, walking on grass or something. But anyways, and then for some reason I thought of the podcast, right? And I was like, oh, the podcast, that's an episode Monday. Okay, that's good. I was like, wait, the podcast. Everyone knows my life from the podcast. And then I started fucking tripping on paranoia. I was like, I have nowhere to go because everyone just knows like some of my deepest things. I just tell them and they can just make a judgment of it and talk about it at any given second of the day. And wow, that was intense. That was really intense, guys. That was scary. And because I maybe sometimes brush over it or sometimes act like it's not a big thing, but laying your vulnerability out, painting your vulnerability and some of your deepest thoughts or fears just on a canvas in the most clear English in a video, and then for anyone to come over and just pick it apart. Like, it's one thing with music, it really is with music, because music, there's still a wall. There's still kind of a wall where everything's open for interpretation, but that's not the thing when you're doing a podcast and using your voice. With a podcast, you're trying to be as clear and precise with your words and with your intentions and what you mean. So music are open for interpretation, metaphorical, but a podcast, you're going direct, and you're going all the way direct. It's clear and as transparent as possible is what I've been trying to do. And on a day-to-day, I'm totally with that and confident. But maybe what I realized is maybe I'm not so much as I thought I was confident with it and completely open to it, because when I started tripping, I started getting so scared and I felt like I was trapped. I felt like, and I'm not famous yet. Come on now, guys, you know what's the Ocean Flight 101, heading straight to full potential with 0 delays. We're going all the way, and fame is a byproduct of that potential, baby. Okay. But at the same time, anyone can just click on YouTube, anyone can click on Spotify, pick a random Solo Dolo episode, and there you go. Or my guest episodes, but more the Solo Dolo episodes, and there you go. And you're going to look into my life with a very clear lens, a Specsavers lens, maybe. Maybe some sponsorship from Specsavers at some point. Who knows? So that was intense. Now I was able to settle myself down from that. So I settled myself down from that. Just settling myself down, kind of distracted myself, and then I was like, no, I am okay with this. And as soon as I did that, oh, jazz. That was only part one of the trip. Part two, right? Part two of the trip. I was supposed to go on, let's call it a date for the sake of it. And lovely person, but definitely has their ups and downs and emotional... I don't like using the word baggage. Maybe luggage. I'm going to use the word luggage. Baggage implies that like it's a bag, but luggage you pull. You know, you have one of them wheels and you pull your luggage. And I definitely would say I have luggage, not baggage, because I'm able to gently pull my luggage. I'm not weighed down by my luggage or baggage. So, and which I don't look at someone and judge someone just because they have tons of different like roller coasters and hurtful things in their life. If anything, I gravitate towards people who can use that and turn to a positive. Is always my way. Because I know I've been through the worst. But for whatever reason, I was like, oh, maybe it was a good thing I didn't go on that day, because I wouldn't have been able to handle that emotional stuff. And which is completely false, because in my day-to-day, that stuff doesn't scare me or push me away or make me apprehensive to getting to know someone at all. And if anything, I just gravitate towards someone who, again, if anything, I always gravitate towards someone who can have their own emotional either trauma or whatever and be able to transform that into something positive and take a positive path and grab life by the scruff of its neck. Like that's something I really find attractive in a person and really gravitate towards like a lot. If someone has been through the trenches and they've found a way to grab onto something positive and run at that positive thing, I think that speaks a lot about a person. It really does speak a lot about a person. And people that I look up to a lot, and a lot of people I've met on my travels, they're real ones. They are real ones because they know both sides of the fence and they have empathy to both sides of the fence and awareness. So yeah, shout out all them people. And I feel people, that's who I attract. I feel I attract positive people, but I feel I also attract positive people who see that I've also been through my own battles, as if everyone has, and turn that into something to hold on to and something to push forward with, onward and upward. So I started feeling the emotions though, because I'm an empathetic person. I started feeling all the emotions of this person, of like what they may be going through. And it was quite intense. It was quite intense. Yeah, it was a lot. But thankfully, I was able to calm myself down again. And then I was like, I need something just to relax me. And I was on YouTube and I clicked on this Jordan Peterson interview for some reason. And in the YouTube comment section, it said, watching this reminded me to clean my room. I was like, that's what I'll do. I'll clean my room. And I got up and I cleaned my room and I was like, oh, that's better. And that made me like, not too bad. And then after that, I ended up watching Marvin's his name. He's like a WWE former wrestler. And for whatever reason, his channel just made me relax and go, and I just watched that for like an hour and I was okay. But after that, for the days after that, my anxiety, guys, it was high. It was high. And it was high about the podcast and it was high in general. I could feel it like, that's why like I tend not to, if I do tend to go near the old Mary Jane, it's only when I'm like in a really good flow and at a good point. And at the same time, it's not something I usually would do anyways. But also something really important here, I just want to point out. Anytime I have done it, has always taught me something. So it taught me about like this podcast, it taught me like, I do have to like understand how I'm being vulnerable more and be not careful, but not strategic or careful with what I'm saying. Just aware, just really aware with what I'm saying, you know? Awareness being the word of what I'm saying. And because to someone, it's not a lot, But to me, it's a lot because it's my life. And I only have one. As far as I'm aware, it is. Unless I have another somewhere out there I don't know about. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, I only have one. And I'm trying to do it the best I can. Like, I'm not there. I'll never be fully there. But I'm really trying to give it a good hit, a good kick at it, you know? So I guess aware. And then the other with the girl and the emotions, I guess it was more of not underestimating someone's battles, you know? Not underestimating and what someone might have on their plate, more than anything, just not underestimating. So 2 key takeaways, and that's the thing when you move in that world of psychedelics, not psychedelics, but like weed and stuff. It's even on a bad trip, sometimes you can give a positive. And also, I'm not saying or recommending you do any of that. You are your own person. You do what you wish, within the guides of the law, of course. Love. But do what you wish, but just like, I guess, just be careful and know why you're doing something and your intention behind it. It kind of comes back to. So that happened. That was one mad thing that happened. Also, so that's that. And another thing, I went, shout out my boy Jerry Hussey. I went one of his activations for, actually I have the bottle here. I'm not sponsored, but oh my God, if you're listening, guys, Simprove. Basically, it's for your gut. It's like this little shot that has all the great things you need for your gut and help clean your gut. And it was an activation for that down at Dun Laoghaire. And that was quite something too. Guys, I have so much to tell you, but I obviously... fuck it. I'm just going to go on a long one, yeah. Because I want to tell you all the stuff that's not happening, because I won't tell you again. So yeah, I'm going to tell you for another maybe 10 minutes of all the stuff that's not happening, and then get into the discipline, because it's in connection with this Jerry Hussey. So yeah, shout out Jerry Hussey. Jerry Hussey is I think he's a motivational coach, life coach. I think more of his tag is a high performance coach. He's worked with the Olympics from boxing to, he's worked with, I think, Brezzy for a while. He worked with the guy that sailed around Ireland. Like, he's done some incredible work. He's released multiple books. I'm looking at him, all going well to get him on the pod over the next couple of months. But anyhow, shout out my boy Liam Murphy. Shout out my boy Liam Murphy, who put on his story, who does photography for him, that there was going to be this activation down Dun Laoghaire, and essentially what it was going to be like exercise at like early in the morning. Now, I didn't actually know what it was going to be, but I knew I wanted to meet Jerry. Shout out Liam. Knew I wanted to meet Liam, and it's going out fucking for a sunrise in Dun Laoghaire. Now, something, I wasn't having the best week, so I kind of thought this would be a great addition to it. So prepared anyways, knew I'd have to get out mad early, because it was at 6, was that 6 or 7? It was at 7 o'clock in the morning. The dart was going to be at 6, so I had to get up mad early to even get there. So I got up at like 3:30, got into Dublin far too early, because the fucking dart wasn't 6. So I got into Dublin far too early, but it was like 4:30 in the morning in Dublin, and I was like, shit, I could just go for a jog around Dublin, because I've never jogged around Dublin. So that's what I did. I just jogged around Dublin at 4:30 in the morning. And wow, it was quite a unique experience, to say the least. Unfortunately, sending love to all the homeless people and whatnot, but it was mostly just homeless people around. And then the odd person, the odd straggler, because it was on a Thursday night, Friday morning. And so I just started jogging around Dublin, jogged around the docks. And it was very peaceful. It was very peaceful, because I think from 4 to 5 really is the only hour where Dublin is like quiet and asleep. I'd say most cities, I know a lot of sleepy cities don't even sleep. There's constant go, but I think most cities, yeah, there might only be like nothing happening for like an hour or two, and then life starts popping up again. So yeah, jog, that was very peaceful. I did question maybe what I was doing. I was like, is this me being the best version of myself out for a jog in the middle of Dublin 5 o'clock in the morning, or is this me being absolutely fucking bonkers? And guys, it was a mixture of both. It was a combination of both. Yeah, definitely felt a bit bonkers, but at the same time, I was like, oh man, I'm jogging around Dublin City at 5 o'clock in the morning, fucking getting it, you know, getting at it, getting at life. So it definitely was a cool thing to do, and a different perspective on the city. And I said it before, guys, this is my 3rd time here, and this has been far most, by far the most jubilant experience. It really has. Like, I've really found ways to love different parts of the place and whatnot, and definitely swimming and stuff. But we'll get to that in a second. So anyways, got the dart out to Dunleary, and then we did this. There was like a group maybe of how many people? There might have been like 40, 50 people there, all ages, from 23 to 65, men, women. Yeah, it was quite the experience, and it was just, we're doing shadow boxing, we're doing all different type of movement work, we're jogging around in a circle, we're doing this release work where you like build it all up and then shout it out, like just build up all the tension in your body and then go and shout out all the released energy. And it was very, very rewarding and educational. And yeah, I was looking at him and I was like, you don't know it, Jerry, but I feel like I'm looking at the 40, 50-year-old or whatever version of myself. I don't want to say he's 40, 50. I'm not sure what age he is. Shout Jerry though. But I was like, oh, this is me in whatever amount of years time. Like, this is something I would love to do. I would love to learn to develop and nurture and grow this podcast to do like things like this. Like, imagine that, right? Out in some morning with the sun rising and like maybe, I don't know, Barcelona, and it's like a one step at a time activation where we do a little bit of talk and then we do some jogging and breath work and meditation, yoga. Wouldn't that be absolutely incredible? I'm saying it now. Let's manifest that motherfucker. So yeah, I was very inspired because I feel that's the trajectory I'm on. And shout out my friends too, because 2 years ago when we were living in Sitges, Finn said to me, we were kind of around a table and we were chatting out in a patio, and he said something to me and he was like, well, man, yeah, you're only a couple of years off being probably a life coach or something. And I was like, I didn't think about that. And I don't know necessarily if that's what I'd want to be, a life coach, because I don't know if that's what I'd want to be. But I definitely see myself on the trajectory of being someone who can help inspire others by many means, many different ways and means and experiences. So yeah, I definitely see myself doing activations in the future with the One Step at a Time podcast, and I think that would be a beautiful thing. And also for the community, yeah, wouldn't that be class? Just the community, because bringing a podcast community together, I think that's very important. It's something, and some live shows is something I thought about. But anyway, I digress. Let me bring it back. So yeah, that activation was incredible. And it was just someone speaking to me common sense. Like, it's just common sense, but common sense isn't so common. And he was just speaking about the body, how important it is we move. And like, for our ancestors, our ancestors just didn't run like this in a straight line. Our ancestors were moving, they were flexible, they were fluent. They were agile, they were in the jungle, they were moving all parts of their body. And he was speaking about boxing. When you box, you hit and you move forward. You don't hit and you move back. You hit and you move forward in life. In life, you don't hit and then take a step back. In life, you have to hit and move forward at your opponent being not yourself, but like your own journey. So that was very inspirational. That really hit home. And he's, what else? Just looking after the body, the gut. We were doing kind of exercises like, imagine we're throwing a javelin spear and then the big ball. Imagine we were throwing that. He had us running around in a circle jog, and imagine we're in the Olympics and we just won and we were clapping to the audience. Like, all of these things that I'd be a very staunch believer in. I'm burping. Why am I burping? And to me, just common sense. Just blank common sense. We need movement. We need purpose, and we need something positive, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Like, you really don't. You really don't have to overcomplicate it. And that's something that I really related to, because everything we did was very simplistic. Everything we did, the movements, the exercises, the affirmation of choice and releasing, shouting out, it was all very basic. But as we learn in today's society, all the basic, beautiful things get lost. Da-da-da. Where are they going, guys? I can't see them. I also don't have my glasses on. 1 second. Oh, look at them over there, eh? Right in front of me. Every time I'm on a podcast, I see the camera. I see my keep going tattoo, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to get another tattoo. So that happened. That was beautiful. And yeah, I'm going to work on, hopefully, if there's potentiality, getting Jerry maybe on the podcast as the months go by. Because that would be quite the episode. I really think that would be a profound episode. So shout out my boy Jerry. Also, this is okay, guys. I'm going to tell you a few more things, and then we'll get into the other bits. But the discipline. I want to get into the discipline. I want to connect this with the discipline. So, as I've spoken about almost a year ago, I learned how to swim in deep water. So the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to be super disciplined on remaining in the water and spending longer periods and doing it consistently, because I could even feel the nerves coming again. So, example, we're down in Galway, and we're down in Galway down at the pier, Blackrock Pier, I think it's called, and it's been my dream to jump off this down Salt Hill. And is it Salt Hill? I need to get this information right. It's important. 1 second, I'll just ask the lads. What's the beach in Galway called? Yeah, shout out Matthew. Salt Hill, yeah. So, Salt Hill, the Blackrock Pier down Salt Hill. So, it's been my dream to jump off the Blackrock Salt Hill Pier since I was a kid. And I jogged to it there. When did I jog to it there? About 2 years ago. No, oh my God, that's 3 years ago. And it's been my dream to jump off this pier since I was a kid. And even the idea of just jumping into water was so scary. So, I was up visiting some friends and whatnot in Galway, and I was like, oh, we'll go swimming. And they were like, yeah. So went out swimming out to Salt Hill, and it was fucking packed, and I seen it, and I'm like, I'm doing it. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been in the water more and more, and I was like, I can do this. Don't overthink it, just do. That's something when it comes to discipline, I really try to entertain. Being disciplined with myself is not listening and not entertaining other outcomes. It's just a task, do, reward. And reward not from like a materialistic way, or a reward like for the soul, for the soul. And so when I seen the pier, I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. Done. So I got in the water, first of all, was chilling with the girls and whatnot. And then I was like, right, I'm going to do it. And I made the walk, right? And as I made the walk, I started getting a little nervous. And I was in the mid kind of feeling anyways. But anyway, I started walking. And as I was walking up to the pier, I was like, yeah, I got this. And then I got there, and the steps, they're actually so small. I was like, wow, these steps are so... And I got up anyways. And I wasn't overthinking. I was just doing in flow state. Just do. Don't think, just do. And I got to the top, and I seen it. I took a breath, and there was a kid before me, and the kid was only like, I'd say it was 9 or 10, and he was just having fun. Them things are so much easier when that, and like I remember a water slide too. It's so much easier when there's a kid there, and the reason it's so much easier is a kid has no fear. A kid has no instilled fear. They're just doing. They're not thinking. They're just doing. And he was having mad fun, and he was like, what will it do to his mother? What type of jump? He does some mad flip, and I'm like, bro, I ain't doing that. But him doing that, little did he know, me, a fucking grown man, made it easier for me, because I was like, he can do it, I can do it. So I looked at it, gave myself a prayer, and it's a big jump. Guys, it's a big jump into the water. And I just say, I got this. I just give myself a prayer, and I just went for it, took the jump. Took the leap, and oh wow! And when you into the water, plummet into the water, and that 3-4 seconds where you're like, oh shit, am I going to get up? Am I going to get out of the water? Am I going to get up? And I did get up, and I was like, oh, I'm up. And something, the calmness, because I think that's maybe like you don't even realize you do it, but I guess the discipline is the knowledge. If you just chill out, don't react, You just come back up to the water and you're chill. You're in the water. You're one with the water. Versus fear. When you have fear, you're overthinking. Everything's happening. If I was to like be bombarded with fear and thoughts of like, oh, I'll drown or whatever, jump in the water, I'd probably be struggling. I'd be up and down trying to get air. So thankfully that didn't happen. Got up, swam, was wrecked though after it. Jeez, I was wrecked. Did it a second time. Unfortunately, when I did it the second time, I got a bit of whiplash. But I was so proud of myself. And over the last couple of weeks from that, I was swimming in Dunleary there last Saturday. That was beautiful. And then I was swimming in Monkstown there Tuesday night. That was beautiful. And just being in the water, just being disciplined with myself and knowing I need to be in the water. For multiple reasons, multitude of reasons. One, because I love the water. It's relaxing. It reminds me that life is simple when I overthink it, because you're just there and nature's in control. You're not in control. And if you go with nature, you're okay. But if you try to fight against it, it will show you who's boss. It will show you very quickly who's boss. So it really relaxes me. Good for my body, good for the muscles and whatnot, and just really relaxes me and makes me realize, oh yeah, life is pretty good. So that's just a couple of reasons why I do it. And two, I was thinking about doing the Ironman, and I think, what age am I now? Where was that? I'm 27, and we're in 2024. Yeah, I was aiming at Ironman 2029. So I need to start learning how to swim properly. So just being regularly in the ocean is, I would say it's a good start. It's a slow start, but it's a good start considering I didn't know how to swim about a year ago. And just the energy, man, the workout, the energy it takes to swim is, wow, so much energy. Yeah, the muscles in your body and whatnot. So that's a couple of things that have happened. Is there anything else I want to... Yeah, so just moving, as we move more into discipline there. Discipline. So I seen a great quote. Guys, I seen a really great quote. I seen a quote, and the quote was, discipline is the clearest version of self-love. You are being disciplined enough now because you love yourself enough to give your future self the opportunity. So you love yourself, you're being disciplined because you love yourself and you want to give yourself the opportunity in the future. And another good way of looking at discipline is the river. I've seen this too. It's a very good one. A river is free flowing, right? It's majestic. It's powerful. You don't fuck with a river. When a river is flowing at in a powerful pace, you don't fuck with a river. It's beautiful. It's majestic. It's wonderful. But even a river has banks to keep it on its path and around as it meanders. Now, sometimes the river will erode away, corrosive to the banks, but it still has its banks. You know, a beautiful river still has its banks. This is maneuvers, and it's such a great metaphor for. Is there an analogy or metaphor? I always mess up. For life. You know, a river is such a great example for life because it's powerful, majestic, but it still needs the banks to keep it in check, and it's meandering. You know, not very often do you just get a straight river. And it goes in all different directions, but it gets there. It gets there. And I think if you follow that way on your path, follow the way of a river, be free, fluent, majestic, keep within the banks as your discipline, you will get there in the end. You will get there. And there's lots of tributaries. There's lots of little flows that go off in other directions. And that could be looked at as when parts of your soul or your experiences or just life takes different directions for a while, but comes back to the main river. And also just, I guess, our cup of life. You know, we have our main river, which is it's our powerful energy. But guys, we still have so many little flows of water we can give other people. You know, it's abundant. It's abundant. So the river is abundant, you know. The river is abundant. And I think a river is energy, and our actions and our thoughts, it's abundant. We can give as long as we maintain ourselves. So yeah, just being disciplined with the swimming and really putting that into my life, like at least doing it once a week. I know I need to do it once a week if I want to fulfill even entertain the idea of doing Ironman, because the running's one thing, the cycling's a little more easy to access for me, I think. Don't get me wrong, I don't have mad cycling experiences, but just, I think because I'm athletic, I'm not underestimating cycling whatsoever. I am not underestimating cycling, so let's get that clear. But I just feel more natural versus the water. This water is this new horizon I've only fucking been in about a year ago. So, and yeah, the Ironman. Why do we even want to do the Ironman? And the discipline that would take. I guess too, let's bring it back a bit. I had the Florence Marathon in November, and I haven't really spoken about it. And I think I want to keep it low key because I don't know. I feel like it adds certain pressure when I talk about certain things. I feel like certain things are just kind of best kept to myself on my journey with it. I feel like the marathon is one. Like, I was even thinking to myself, I was like, will I do content round training for it? And I was like, not this time. Maybe next time. Because this is not a new thing. Like, I'll be doing this every year. As long as I keep the body in top shape, guys. Look after your body. What are you doing? Just look after it. Go for a walk. Everyone can go for a walk unless you can't. Right. Anyhow, if you can't go for a walk, guys, you get me. Do some exercise. Anyways, so the marathon, obviously, I didn't do the best training for the last one. Again, we'll talk about that in the future. Oh, Jesus, what an episode that will be. But with this marathon, knowing I have to be disciplined, and if I don't, I won't get away with it. You know, I would say I got away with it last time. When I didn't train properly for the London one, I got away with it. I did. I was very blessed and very lucky to not train how you're supposed to train for a marathon. Like, I'm low-key underselling how badly I actually approached it, but just because I don't want to give much information out about it yet. But it wasn't good. And I low-key got away with it. Because of how I've treated my body, my age, my attitude. But that can only get you so far when you start taking gigantuan risks with your body. Because your body is not invincible. It's not. It's fucking vigorous. It's strong. It's tough. It heals. It's amazing. But it's not invincible. Thus, we are not immortal. It is not invincible. So with this one, I've really had to kind of check myself and go, look, I can't repeat last time. I really need to stay disciplined. And I spoke about self-love. And I love myself enough to want to finish that line in November feeling good. Not how I did last time. Last time was amazing, but last time I was crippled, man. And I really was. I couldn't move. Like, it was horrible. And I don't want to be like that this time. I want to run across that finish line, jump up and feel good. And I guess my attitude towards the marathon, since I kind of did it with not the right training, it's not taking it for granted, but it really is just a jog. It's just a jog. A jog that you put more time and effort in for, but it's just a jog. And that comes back to just how I strip things back by not letting them be too overwhelming. Just how the podcast, man. The podcast is just one episode a week. It's some notes. It's about, how many hours is the podcast a week? It's to do a guest, it takes about 6 hours. To just do me, it takes about 2 hours. So we'll say 3.5 because of I have to prep my notes. But it's this amount of time. I do it here and it goes out. And it's like a conveyor belt. And you don't overthink it. And once you don't overthink it, it's not as overwhelming. You stay disciplined because you love it and you love yourself. And thus it continues. I love myself. So the same way with this marathon. For me now, I don't know if this works for everybody. It's depending on how you approach discipline. Like in the past, I would approach discipline as yes, I have to be disciplined because I want to be the fucking ultimate optimal version of myself. And this is what great people do. And that didn't work. That just didn't work. Because I was always playing catch up. I was always playing catch up to being a great person and failing at it miserably. setting goals on the most unrealistic goals and never hitting them, not even coming close, because I was looking at the what and not the how. With discipline, you have to look at what you're doing, but how are you going to do it? How are you going to stay disciplined? And the how is something you really got to look at. Put time, invest resources into, so you can get the what. The what is nothing without the how. The how is nothing without the what. You need something to aim for, but you also have to need a plan of how you're going to get it. Or else you won't get it, or even come close. So what if you don't get it? But you need to come close, or somewhat give it your best shot. And you can't give it your best shot without a plan. POA, plan of action. So now, the way I view discipline is the what, the how, and the why. Why am I doing something? Why am I personally doing something? So with the marathon, it's a big jog. I'm doing it because I like jogs and I want to do a big jog. And it's cool to do a really big jog. And that's a cool little mark. One marathon a year, that's a nice little way. It's a time where I push myself past some limits and put myself out of my comfort zone. I want to do it because I want to get out of my comfort zone. Like, for me, a marathon, I don't really, when I did the marathon, okay, and now I did tell someone today, when I did the first one, at the beginning I was telling people I did it. But I've kind of stopped doing it, because when someone asked me, do I run much? I said, yeah, I like jogging. I run. I'm a part-time jogger. That's what I usually say. Because I low-key am. I don't be doing mad amounts every day, if we're in comparison to other people, but I do enough for me that makes me feel good. And the marathon is just putting myself out of my comfort zone, giving me something to work towards, and something that can give me stability. And that's why I do it. Because maybe when I do the Ironman, I'll be fucking flexing and what. And at the same time, let's be transparent. Will I make an Instagram post about it? Yes, I probably will. There probably will be an Instagram post when I do the marathon. That's for sure. But it's not for anyone else, because it doesn't give me anything else to. Not really. It's nice to say in a conversation, oh, you did a marathon. That's incredible. I'm like, yeah, it's really nice. But it's not for other people. It's for yourself. It's proving to yourself that you can jump outside your comfort zone and push forward with strength. And when it comes to discipline, that's what it can do. You can stay disciplined to put yourself temporary in a place of discomfort to put yourself in a place of comfort. And that's what it does. It gives you awareness. Being disciplined gives you perspective. It gives you two sides of discomfort and comfort, and it makes you appreciate the comfort. When I go for a 4 or 5 mile jog in the morning, I'm in discomfort. I'm running. My body doesn't want to go, but I keep pushing forward. So then when I'm doing some work, I'm in comfort. It's grand. What's 5-6 hours of work? Grand. Let me sit down and just go at it. Because I already did the jog, and the jog was fucking tough. I'm not a construction. I'm not working like an intense job in a hospital. What I do is nothing compared to a lot of people have to do for money, like the army or hospital or jobs where people are doing some crazy stuff like. So it makes you appreciate your comfort, and I don't think you can appreciate your comfort without putting yourself in discomfort. I really don't think you can. So that's some bits about the marathon. Now, when you don't be disciplined, and this is important, it's all good for me to say, oh, guys, I'm doing a marathon. Oh, do water. What happens when you don't be disciplined? And I'll give you an example of where I'm not being disciplined at the moment. These mornings, I'd be waking up with guilt. I really do. And the guilt is over how I'm treating my music and where I'm going with music. And it's not nice, because it's a feeling of doing myself a disservice, if I'm honest with you. And that's not nice. And I've struggled to be disciplined with music last 2 years. And low-key gone around in circles a little bit. Made some great music, don't get me wrong. I've been turning out songs, mixing masters the last couple of about a month or so, which has been great. I think I have 3 done now, and get another 3 done, and that'll be like 6 done songs, which is amazing, man. It's so amazing. But at the same time, that takes maybe 2 hours or an hour and a half of my work every week. It's not me doing it. It's not me putting in enough work. And that's hard, man, because I've been trying to figure out why I can't stay disciplined at it. And maybe that's more relatable to being disciplined, is like, what happens when you can't be disciplined? Huh? What do you do when you really keep going at something and you keep falling, you keep going back on your word to yourself? You know, that hurts, man. That's not nice. It's not nice telling yourself you're going to do something, giving yourself that word, and then letting yourself down. Knowing you could have done better and you didn't, and you chose not to do better. You chose not to give yourself the chance. And that hurts, man. That follows you around. That really eats away at you when you promised yourself you're going to do it this time. You're going to follow your dream. You're going to put yourself out there. You're going to go for that run, that walk, the gym, whatever it is you promised yourself you're going to do. You're going to get up nice and early, and you didn't. Man, that hurts. That's not a nice feeling. And that's a feeling that can weigh you down. That's a feeling that can weigh you down, but you can get through it. But it's literally patience. It's patience. It's patience and small things. Small things over and over again. And that's the last thing you want to hear, isn't it? You don't want to hear that. You know, when you want to, you know, in the movies, right, where an epiphany happens, and like, that was the moment I was going to change my life. I think a lot of us look for that. We're always looking for the big epiphany moment of when we change our lives. You know, be it that business, looking for that one moment, or be it health, be it a dream, be it anything, a relationship. We're kind of waiting to either maybe find the right person. We're waiting for it. But it's not going to come. It might. It might just appear, but it's probably not going to appear. You probably have to put in a little bit of work, and a little bit every day, you know? And it's stripping it back, the huge steps you have to make to achieve something, into small. It's just a combination of repeated steps over and over, repeated little habits. And come back to the book, James Clear, Atomic Habits, like being a product of your habits. Jerry Hussey was on about being a product of your choices. You know, it's the micro choices every day. I'll give an example. When I come in from my jog, I have the choice to look at my phone or not. Right? This is something very small. This is 10 minutes, right? I come in every day from my jog, every second day if I didn't go for a jog. And I have the choice to either look at my phone, check Instagram, or not. If I look at my phone, I'm giving myself the opportunity to drain the dopamine that I've just fucking gained, the runner's high, the beautiful experience, and go straight back into the matrix. Or I have the choice to not look at my phone, be disciplined, and go straight from my cold shower and feel great. And that micro decision plays every day. It plays in my head every day, that little micro decision. Because that micro decision is 10 minutes. But guess what, guys? If I go down the rabbit hole, it's not 10 minutes. It's a half an hour. And not to be the meme, but a half an hour multiplied by 7, multiplied by a month, multiplied by yada yada. It all adds up, and it's so much time. And it's a micro decision in my head. And I can feel the voice in my head, the muscle these days. It's the muscle when I wake up, right? It's 7 o'clock. I wake up. I don't want to get out of bed. I'm tired. But it's the little voice, the muscle. No, do it. Just get up. Don't listen to the tiredness, the relaxed, everything, the bad thoughts, emotions, the fears. Bypass it. Just bypass it. And that voice can only get stronger if you consistently listen to it. You gotta consistently listen. And you gotta fucking listen to the voice. The good one. The voice that says, yes, I get up now. And you don't listen to the tiredness. You don't listen to the fears. You don't listen to the anxieties or whatever you did yesterday, or the girl that broke your heart, or the job you didn't get, or whatever the fucking dream that didn't come true, you say, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Because you only got the days, guys. You only got every day is the chance, opportunity. And I don't have it figured out. I don't. But I know when I entertain that muscle, that voice of resilience, determination, my life feels a lot fucking better. It feels good. Feels like I'm giving myself the best chance. And, bruh, we're abundant spiritual beings, but the time's not abundant. The time, you're not here forever. I don't want to sound like a preacher, but I'm going to say it. Guys, wake the fuck up. We're not here forever. And that's for me too. That's just not for you. That's for me. I often need to wake the fuck up and be honest and strip away the bullshit, strip away my excuses, my pain, and bring it all the way back to the most important thing in the room, me and what I need to do. So yeah. I'm sorry, guys, if that came off a bit abrasive. I apologize. But Jesus, it's only because I feel it about myself. It's only because I feel about myself and I know what it's like. And it's not nice. It's not nice not to listen to that voice of resilience. And we all have it. And you can do it. You can do it. You can listen to that resilience and move forward and upward and achieve what you wanted to achieve. You know, everything is impossible. It's all impossible. You could never do that until you do it. Until you do it. Until the dream comes true. Until you get the job. Until you do the marathon or whatever it is you want to achieve. It's all out of reach until it's not. So fuck yeah. Go do it. You can do it. So yeah. Anyways. That's the inspirational, motivational stuff. How are we for time? I kind of got lost in the zone there. Oh, we're at 53 minutes. Yeah, I usually do these for an hour, guys. You know the solo dolos are usually for an hour. Yeah, discipline, man. Discipline's important. I think discipline gets misinterpreted, but discipline can really be the key to unlocking everything you ever wanted. Everything. And it's there for you. It's there, so go get it. But it is. That's discipline. That's just my thoughts on discipline. The micro decisions. So with music, how I'm going to approach that is I'm going to, when I was like 17, 18, I used to get up early in the morning. I used to get up like 5, 6 and feel hungry and whatnot and go, yeah, I'm going to write some raps and whatnot. Now, I don't think I'm doing that. But what I was thinking of doing, right, I need to space out 2 hours a day. 2 hours. And I have 2 hours. I do a lot of things, but boy, I definitely have 2 hours. All I need to do is check my time spent on my phone. What is the screen time? And whatever that says, yeah. That's a good way of checking how much time you can take out of your life. Go check your... if you feel like you're always busy and you have no time, go check the screen time on your phone. And go check what you spend it on. That will probably tell you if you have time in your life to go do other things. Maybe other important things you've been putting off. That's a good way. So yeah, I'm going to check the time on my phone, see how much time I have, and then space out an hour to 2 hours every day with a clear idea or plan of what I'm doing for that week. And be that make a song, do clear vocals, do all the other things involved, music, some content or whatever. And that's my plan. That's my plan of how I'm going to get consistent with it. And then my plan of releasing will be bringing into just the steps of signing up to distributor and getting a release in the content plan and all that good stuff. So that's what I intend on doing. And guys, it's exciting. It really is exciting. Like between the business, Exhale that I do, between the podcast, marathon, music, life experiences, it's really great. I have a lot to be grateful for. And I'll keep it a book too. I'll keep it a book. And if you've gotten this far, then yeah, appreciate you. But yeah, man, even the last couple of weeks, and the edible didn't help. I was feeling a bit disconnected to myself. And I was feeling I was feeling disconnected. And I was like, feeling like, oh wait, do I love everything I do and who I am? And who I am and everything I do? Or do I hate? I'm like, am I sick of it? Am I sick of my life? Like, am I sick of my podcast? Am I sick of me, my manners, everything? And I was just floating away a bit too much. I wasn't grounded at all. I wasn't grounded. I was just floating. And, but thankfully, I became grounded again. Just the importance of venting for me, you know? Importance of talking to my friends and stuff and just meditating, you know, being grounded. Being grounded. And not floating away. Joshua's taking a picture of me. But yeah, and it happens. Like, even I do love myself, but sometimes, I don't know, you just get disconnected with what you're doing and who you are and why you're doing it. But you just have to realign, I guess, and come back to basics. Come back to basics, guys. So yeah, there's a little bit. Going to Wicklow tomorrow. Kayaking. Wicklow. Stick yo. Hick. No. That made no sense. But going to Wicklow tomorrow, that's quite exciting. And yeah, just very grateful. A lot of exciting things around the corner. And yeah, that brings this episode to a close. Guys, if you haven't given it 5 stars, 56 minutes. If we haven't given it 5 stars, give it 5 stars. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. You are loved. You can do whatever you set your mind to. I believe into you. Go do it, guys. You only get one life. Only one life. So start being disciplined because you can do it. Guys, this has been another episode of One Step at a Time with your host, The Ocean Flight 111, heading straight to full potential with Sarah Liz. Hey, don't have a good day. Have a great day. Go on, get out of here. God bless.
I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be, yeah, it goes late nights on the road, yeah, that's just how it goes, yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if